Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, part of the success of the International College of Management Sydney is its international reputation. Today we recognise the success of our graduates who represent 7 countries from around the world. They are Australia, China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Japan, the Republic of Korea, and the Russian Federation. Thank you. I invite you to be upstanding for the Australian National Anthem, which will be performed by ICMS Event Management student Miranda Tickner. Thank you. Please be seated. On behalf of the official party, staff and faculty at the International College of Management Sydney and Macquarie University, we cordially welcome graduates, family and friends to the 17th graduation ceremony and celebration. It is with pleasure that I introduce the official party to you. Deputy Chancellor, Macquarie University, Elizabeth Crouch. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Students and Registrar, Macquarie University, Deidre Anderson. Darryl Courtney O'Connor, Executive Chairman and Founder of ICMS. Frank Prestopino, Chief Executive Officer, ICMS. Professor Mike Burrell, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academic Operations, ICMS. Anne Whitelock Courtney O'Connor, Chairperson, Aspiring Education Foundation and ICMS Professional Scholarship Program. Mr. Bryn James, Head of School Professional Services, Professor Roger March, Head of School Business and Management, and Mr. Robert Miles, Registrar from ICMS. College distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming you to this graduation ceremony this morning, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Ku-ring-gai people. We pay our respect to elders past and present. Today is the 10th time that a graduation ceremony from Macquarie University has been held here at our college, and we're delighted to welcome our friends and colleagues from the university to our beautiful campus and magnificent chapel. The International College of Management enrolled its first students in May 1996. At that time, the college had just 18 staff and 62 students. Now we have over 1,200 students and a staff of more than 100. Soon after its founding, the college formed a partnership with Macquarie University, and this year we celebrate the 17th anniversary of our association. In particular, we are pleased at the opportunities this partnership has provided our students. The combination of college expertise with the depth and excellence of a business education from Macquarie University produces a complete, well-rounded, work-ready graduate, ready for the challenges ahead and their careers. Congratulations to all our graduates. We are proud of you and we know that you all have bright futures ahead of you. It is now with great pleasure that I introduce our occasional speaker, Elizabeth Crouch, Deputy Chancellor of Macquarie University. Elizabeth Crouch is a Company Director and Consultant to government and private sectors. She spent 16 years with the federal government before moving into the private sector, where she has held various positions including the role of Chief Executive of the Housing Industry Association. Ms Crouch is a Non-Executive Director of the Chandler McLeod Group, Chairperson of Health, Infrastructure and Transport Audit Committees. She's the former Chair of RailCorp, the National Licensing Authority and Deputy Chair of the City of Sydney Planning Committee. She's also the facilitator and mentor with the Origin Group. Ms Crouch also holds a number of positions with community and sporting bodies, including being on the board of the North Harbour Race Football Club. It is now with great pleasure to invite Elizabeth Crouch to deliver the occasional address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elizabeth Crouch.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Can I start, first of all, I think we need to give a round of applause to Miranda for a beautiful rendition of Advance Australia. Distinguished guests, colleagues from ICMS, graduates and families, welcome to this important celebration of your success. It's always a great pleasure to preside at ceremonies such as these, and today I'm doubly honoured as I also get to deliver the occasional address, which doesn't happen very often for me. The graduation ceremonies at ICMS are always joyous occasions and are a fitting tribute to the many and varied graduates who have passed through these hallowed halls. I know a number of you are international students who will soon return home, and I take this opportunity to thank you for calling ICMS your home for the last few years. You are ambassadors for ICMS and Macquarie University, and when you return home, I hope that you will have very fond memories of your time here. You are at the very earliest stages of your careers, and there's a world of opportunity ahead. Everyone's career and life experiences are unique, and this morning I'd like to share with you a little bit of how I viewed my career journey. I have a view that there are about 3 stages in our careers. The first stage is the growth stage. That time where you are now, where you invest in your education, you complete your studies, where you're enthusiastic, where you try a variety of different jobs, and where you build on the networks you've developed throughout your university years. During this phase, we tend to think we're invincible. We push ourselves hard, we do it all. A number of us probably have aspirations to be managing directors within 12 months. But can I encourage you to be patient? Allow yourself the time to make mistakes and to grow in knowledge and wisdom. The second stage I consider is an escalation stage. That part of your career where you gain more experience and supplement your skills through postgraduate study or other study, or where you engage at a more strategic level and hold positions of leadership and responsibility. And with that growing authority comes greater scrutiny and the responsibility for leading and developing people, which is not easy but is always a great pleasure when you do it well. This escalation stage can take often a high personal toll, and as a consequence, work-life balance can sometimes suffer. This stage also produces what Emeritus Professor and cultural historian Paul Fussell described as the hop-off generation, a category of people who want to hop off the merry-go-round of status, money and social climbing. But people who hop off the corporate train and leave their careers for a period of time and do something completely different, that's often a really refreshing and important change for them. The hop-off generation do not expect jobs for life, so making a career decision or a career change is an easy decision for them. But what happens is that they return to their careers later, refreshed and fulfilled, often having worked in a completely different field or profession. Macquarie celebrated its 50th anniversary at a gala dinner last night, and I was pleased to meet two of our alumni students who at the moment are managing education services for 21 schools in India. So from my point of view, they're probably a great example of a hop-off generation. They've made an effort to try and make a real change in the world. This brings me to the third stage, which is about consolidation. By this stage in your career, you will have expected to have done many things. You're more discerning about where you spend your time and on what tasks. You know yourself well, your strengths and your weaknesses, and you know where you can add the greatest value. You've probably also had a few knockbacks, learned some difficult lessons, and now recognise that no one is irreplaceable. More importantly, you will certainly have learned that achieving a work-life balance is not only sensible, but crucial for your professional career and, more importantly, for your personal well-being. So like many people, my career reflects these stages, and I want to share a few of my own experiences with you. Everyone's career journey is guided by a set of circumstances, individuals and actions that shape our destiny. I've had the great benefit of working with colleagues and leaders who have been patient and generous in providing guidance and wisdom. I've been a government official, a chief executive in the building sector, and now a company director. Each stage has brought with it new opportunities, new challenges, and each has also allowed me to broaden my knowledge and to build new networks. Early on, I chose a career in the public sector because of the opportunities to work across many public policy areas. Public policy affects everyone, whether it's education or transport, health or housing, industry or international trade. And I can tell you that I got the opportunity to work in all of these areas. I've worked with ambassadors, foreign ministers, treasurers and prime ministers. But perhaps the hardest job I had in the public sector was working on the front counter of a Centrelink office when I was a mere 17. I dealt with very difficult issues and with people from all walks of life, many of whom are experiencing personal and financial hardship. That job taught me the greatest lesson I ever learnt, and that is the importance of communication, compassion and resilience in whatever you do. At some stage, you may have the opportunity to move into a sector or an industry that is far removed from your previous experience. I encourage you to take the hard door, take the risk, and to embark on a different path. You will gain new insights, new connections, and new skills. Look for new opportunities amongst your networks and relationships formed here at ICMS, and whatever you choose to do, protect and nurture those networks. They are an important part of your future. I've been on the Council of Macquarie University now for over a decade and have been part of its growth and evolution. Our university has been transformed academically, commercially and from a research perspective. We opened the first private hospital on any university campus in Australia. We capitalised on our core academic and research strengths, and we've realised the value of our assets in being located in the Silicon Gully of New South Wales. We've had the benefit of a new railway station opening, providing greater access for students and staff. We've restructured our degree programs with a focus on academic studies, applied learning and volunteering. We've achieved much, and I've been privileged to be part of that change. I now chair a number of boards and committees, as noted in my introduction, including previously having had the opportunity, as was mentioned, to chair the board of Railcorp. That organisation, as you know, is the body charged with running the state's rail services. I can tell you that early in my career I would never have envisaged that I'd be chairing the board of a railway, and it certainly wasn't without its challenges. Railcorp at the time was a $19 billion infrastructure business, employing over 14,500 people, including 300 apprentices and cadets. It was a highly complex business which, despite its scale and complexity, successfully delivered over 1 million passenger journeys a day. It is still transporting millions of people, but it does so now, of course, under the name of Sydney Trains. To be effective in guiding a complex business like Railcorp, you must first understand it. Hence, as a board, we drove trains, we visited track possessions, we went to signal boxes, train control centres, which look a little bit like something out of Star Wars. We went to heritage facilities. We even participated in emergency evacuation exercises in tunnels, which I can tell you I don't recommend in a pair of high heels. All of this helped the board, though, to understand where we could best add value to the business. So whatever sector or industry you move into, make sure you invest the time in understanding the business, the challenges it faces, and the key people or interest groups it comprises. That investment that you make will produce dividends far into the future and will create significant opportunities for you. Choice has always been an important factor in moving through the stages of my career. Each choice has allowed me to learn about new sectors and to build new networks, and to apply the skills and knowledge I learned at university. Jean Nidich, international businesswoman and founder of Weight Watchers, said that it is choice, not chance, that determines our destiny, and I'm inclined to agree with her. I would like to leave you with a number of points to consider, and points that I have learned on my career journey. Everyone's journey is unique. Don't try and mirror someone else's journey. Create your own. A Canadian journalist once told me that there is only one you, and your style and your approach is unique, so don't strive to be someone else. Have confidence in your own ability and your own ideas. That same Canadian journalist related the story of interviewing the famous actor Sir Laurence Olivier. She asked him whether he ever got nervous. As there were only the two of them in the room at the time, she was surprised when he replied that he was nervous during their interview. His rationale was that nerves and adrenaline are part of the body's way of preparing itself for action. So I encourage you to welcome the butterflies, the sweaty palms, and the other feelings you may experience when you're about to do something new or important. These are signs that your body is ready for action and ready for the task ahead. Always exercise sound judgment and never let your ego get ahead of that judgment. As I said, I sit on the board of Chandler McLeod, an international workforce company, and I've employed many people in my career. I always look for people with good judgment. People who exercise good judgment can be relied upon in any situation. Give yourself permission to learn something new every day. Be rigorous in your analysis and research, and never, ever be afraid to ask the dumb questions. Always be clear about your own strengths and weaknesses. Develop and maintain good networks and good mentors. I've always found that people are generally very willing to share their experiences and tell their own story. So ask them. They will share their knowledge and wisdom with you gladly. Look for diversity in any organisation. With diversity comes better decision making. And I don't just mean gender diversity. Look for a range of skills in an organisation so that you're working with a diverse group of people. Be collegiate and always welcome the input of a quiet contributor around the table. I've found that it is often the quiet, thoughtful person in the room who comes up with the best ideas. Be objective and independent and protect your reputation. Earn the confidence and respect of those you work with. Gail Kelly, in a recent address to graduates at Macquarie University, urged graduates to act with generosity of spirit. It was a timely reminder to us all. So I urge you to act with generosity of spirit and, above all, to act ethically and with integrity. We all have a legacy to leave in our working lives. Identify what you want your legacy to be, and when you look back on your career, do so with pride for what you have achieved, not only for yourself, but also for who you've influenced along the way. Above all, remember the world needs you. Graduates, you are our future, and through you, we are reminded what it's like to face the world with curiosity, enthusiasm, and exuberance. May those qualities blaze brightly in you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Chancellor. I now invite Deirdre Anderson, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Students and Registrar of Macquarie University, to formally certify the eligibility of those who have met the requirements for the Macquarie University Bachelor degrees.
Deputy Chancellor, I certify that all the students being presented here today from Macquarie University and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all Macquarie University candidates for admission to degrees please stand?
In the name of the Council, and by my authority as Deputy Chancellor of Macquarie University, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving them a round of applause.
Please be seated. Deputy Chancellor, I now call on Professor Roger March, the Head of School of Business and Management of the International College of Management here in Sydney, to present the graduates. Professor March.
Deputy Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics whom you have admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Tamika Abood. Chaewon An. Stephanie Alderton. Aaron Arias. Reese Dylan Attard Arnold. Melissa Besgrove. Amalia Barula. Samantha Page Bridge. Timony, Britain. Brooke Brunskill. Charles Capel. Alexia Mia Kara. Brittany Rose Carey. Maddie Carrigan. Sarah Cass. Louise Y. Quinn Chan. Shi Chen. Megan Chinzani. Thomas Joseph Coelho. Lauren Coombs. Nana Ya Denkwa. Bradley James Dean. Kira Donoso. Amy English. Junbin Fan. Bianca Ferrari. Sally Flanders. Julia Velosi. Hayden Gibson. Benjamin Glenn Gilman. Imogen Glover. Daniel Grob. Ellen Marie Grote. Jessica Gavrila Gunawan. Sophie Elizabeth Hamilton. Dylan Harrison. Jessica Heyman. Yang Rim Hiao. Rebecca Hunt. Sarah Claire Ierani. Yun Hee Jo. Alyssa Kang. Rebecca Keating. Charlotte Ellen Hen Khan. Sarah Knox. Kok Sam Lai. Hai Doon Lee. Jae Young Lee. Yesel Lee. Ho Yip Lee. Meng Yi Liang. Alexander Luck. Guitar Amira Martins Shaw. Jennifer Rose Massey. Morgan McKinley. Sherry Ann Meekins. Shri Mega. Gemma Gull Moon. Callum Patrick Moore. Juliet Laura Nolte. Yo Nemoto. Alexander Newhall. Galvin Pinterson. Elena Pogodina. Christina Price. Victoria Prudhomme. Cameron Andrew Rickard. Oliver Rosati. Benjamin Scott. Rachel Rose Shrimpton. Emily Skinner. Yoon Sang Song. Tianqi Song. Suzanne Stark. Emma Stubbs. Vasiliki Tatikov. Oliver James Thompson. David Barrington Thornton. Bridget Tai. Lauren Travato. Jack Twemlow. Brittany Underwood. Ashley Walker. Andrew Watson. Harry Webb. Lana Webster. Loretta Williams. Rebecca Williams. Lauren Winter. Katie Wise. Nicholas Wise. Kawai Wong. Jiwei Wu. Shui Yan. Yisul Yu. Eric Yu. Benjamin Drury. Ji-Hun Lee. Deputy Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Business and Economics.
Graduates, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, it's a great privilege always to preside at ceremonies such as this. There are always great occasions of great joy, family celebration and great optimism for the future. Graduates, I know that this will be a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you, as it should be, because you deserve to take great pride in your graduation today. Completing a degree is never easy. It requires an intelligent and inquiring mind. It requires determination and perseverance, and it requires many sacrifices. The degree you now have will enhance your professional and technical expertise, your leadership qualities, and your management capabilities. And Macquarie's reputation will ensure that the knowledge you have acquired will remain a highly sought-after commodity wherever your future takes you. I encourage you to continue along the path of lifelong learning and inquiry, to set ambitious goals for yourselves and to continue the hard work that has already brought you so far. As I asked you to do earlier, always exercise sound judgment, use your initiative, and always be generous with your time and knowledge, offering advice and wisdom to those you meet on life's journey. My hope is that you will use what you have learned not only for your own benefit, but for the betterment of the worldwide community. Because each and every one of you can make a difference. You can help make a better world in every action, in every word, in every gesture. Graduates, it is a great honour to welcome you as lifelong members of our community of scholars, joining more than 150,000 Macquarie graduates living in over 140 countries. Again, to our newest graduates, my warmest congratulations, best wishes for your futures, and I hope those futures will be filled with every success and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Deputy Chancellor. It now gives me great pleasure to call on Mr. Oliver James Thompson, who has graduated today with a Bachelor of Business Administration in Event Management, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Thank you, Oliver.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of the University, fellow graduates, schoolmates and distinguished guests. My name is Oliver Thompson, and on behalf of the International College of Management, Sydney, I would like to welcome you all to the ICMS Macquarie graduation ceremony of 2014. I would like to thank ICMS and Macquarie for this opportunity to stand here and reflect on our shared experiences as students, which has brought us here today. We've all dreamed of this moment to come, and so have our friends and family who have come along this journey with us. Along the way, some of us have had a few challenges. I know that I've had more of my fair share, yet here we are, the graduates of 2014. The idea of embarking on a career has brought us together at ICMS from all over the world, and what a location to realise such a dream. Today marks a turning point at which we can make choices about our lives and careers and progress our dreams as we move forward into the future. We all lead different lives and make different choices. We can choose to be bold or conservative in making these choices. Bold decisions require us to move out of our comfort zone and draw on some courage to open unfamiliar doors. For those of you who are not yet certain about where to go from here, I urge you to continue to dream of the possibilities for your lives and careers, and don't be afraid to be bold. It will all come down to making choices and wise decisions. These are courageous things to do, yet we are so easily influenced by what is put in front of our eyes. We'll follow that white rabbit and see how your ability to make a choice in order to pursue a dream is a power. The education that we have received at ICMS is far greater than the lectures that we have attended and the notes we have taken and absorbed. It's not just the academic experience that we will take with us, it's the overall ICMS experience. Our learning will be ongoing and continuous. Don't be fooled that your education ends here. And that is why I like this quote from Mark Twain: "I never let my schooling interfere with my education." There have been many life experiences in our student years that have shaped us as people. For as Australian, it has been an education in our association with international students. As ICMS students, we have been privileged to have had many cross-cultural friendships and develop international relationships that many of us will always retain. Interestingly, we collectively learnt different lessons, yet as independently that we formed ideas. We have enriched our lives by feeling the joy of being amongst like-minded people. We have learnt skills in developing human relationships, effective communication, tolerance, resilience, diligence and patience. I know that the friendships forged here at this college will lead to invaluable international business relationships in the near future. Well, ICMS has opened the doors for us to find the path to our future dreams. It's now up to us. Today, we walk from here with our degrees clasped firmly in our hands. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Whether we continue our studies or seek employment in the business world, whether we stay in Australia or venture abroad, we're all going to take on heavier responsibilities and learn new life lessons. It's time for us to do some more dreaming. It's time for us to choose which doors to step through. Most importantly, we shouldn't be scared to dream boldly, as every morning we wake up with two choices: continue to sleep with our dreams or wake up and chase them. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver, for those reflections on your study and time here at ICMS. I would now like to introduce our Chief Executive Officer of ICMS, Mr. Frank Prestipino. Thank you.
Deputy Chancellor. On June 12, 2005, Steve Jobs made his first graduation, or as they say in the United States, commencement. He was 50 years of age. I watched it on television live on PBS, and during his speech, he said something that has stayed with me ever since. If it takes all of your life to find what you love to do, then it is time well spent. Now, the lesson I received was, don't listen to others, especially in negative ways, or opinions about others of yourself. Those opinions just drown out your inner voice and potentially drowns your heart of what you really love to do. I learnt that. So I discovered something else, that writing down what I wanted, writing down what is important, actually kept me closer because it was a secret to myself. So what I say to you, write your own goals, your own affirmations, and keep them close to you. They are a secret to yourself. Care about your relationships, your colleagues at work, your loved ones at home. In the world you're entering, good enough is not good enough. Strive to be better than your competitors. Always stretch yourselves to be better. Don't be greedy. Try to be generous as often as you can. Continue learning. Changes in your world will happen rapidly. Always listen to your inner voice and your intuition and go with it. Fear is actually your friend. So don't let it become your enemy. Fear can keep you in your comfort zone. And if this happens, nothing much really gets done, because only great things really come out of your comfort zone for anyone who dares to try. Your career is now your new university. There will be a lot of learning. Be good at what you do, no matter what the job is, and strive to be better. The best way to build net worth is to build your self-worth first. And you can do this by building your career with different employers, or even from owning your own businesses. I want to thank you for putting your trust of your education with us. I hope that we have met and exceeded your expectations. Congratulations to all of you on your first step to self-worth. Your award today is a passport, not a destination. You've made history today, so I think, in all fairness, your names should really be in the newspapers today. Let's see. I wish you every success and growth in every path you take, and look forward to reading about you in the future. Good luck and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we conclude today's ceremony, there are some people we'd like to thank for their participation today. I'd like to ask our Executive Chairman and Founder, Daryl Courtney O'Connor, to join me whilst we thank our Guest of Honour and Guest Speaker, Deputy Chancellor Elizabeth Crouch. And our graduate speaker, Oliver Thompson. I'd also like to thank all members of the official party for their participation this morning. Sorry, I'm asking a DVC Mike Burrell to the stage.
know Frank really wanted to stand up then, but I beat him to it. Okay, look, I'd really like to thank Deputy Chancellor of Macquarie University and the other members of the official party attending today. It really is a great day, and probably what you don't realise is this is being beamed live around the world. It's the first time in the history of ICMS, and you might have noticed the people up there in the back there. You might be able to go home tonight and call up the YouTube, but I'm sure some of you might already be on your mobile phones or on your iPads and be looking at this live. And it's a first for ICMS, and it's really a great opportunity. What I'd also like to say is while you're sitting there with your testimony in your hand from Macquarie University, the world often thinks about things like world class as something that's a very pejorative term. Everyone's world class. But what I'd really encourage you to do is when you go home, is actually Google Macquarie University and look at the reputation that Macquarie has, and it really is world class, not only within Australia, but within and compared with the leading universities in the world. So I'm very pleased on behalf of the faculty at both ICMS and Macquarie University that we've been able to contribute to your world-class education. And I think it's very fitting that you graduated here and your experience at ICMS and Macquarie University has delivered to you a degree that is really world-class. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we conclude the ceremony this morning, just some housekeeping notes. The main graduation photo will take place on the front lawn for graduates. All graduates should make their way directly via the ground floor of the main college building. Refreshments will then be served in the Ingrid Avenue for all guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding while the official party leads the procession of graduates out of the chapel. Graduates, please join the official party outside the main building. That concludes our formalities. Congratulations, and please enjoy your celebrations.